What's going on, guys? It's Rami here, back. You may know me as a risk taker, an entrepreneur.
Sorry.
Okay, like I was saying, I'm a risk taker, entrepreneur, road runner, and I'm self-made. I just want to address last week's video. I did pretty bad on picks. I think I went about half. I lost the money to Brian, or sorry, Vulcan. I'm sorry. But yeah. So I'm sorry. My parlay hit though. It was a lighter man skill parlay. I know I told y'all Montel Jackson was gonna win, but I actually put Figgy on my parlay. It was Figgy, Vitor Petrino, and what's his name? Joel Alvarez. So stay tuned for the end for my parlay for this weekend that I will be doing. All right, let's get into it. And the first fight of the night is I'm not doing women's fights. I don't really have any ball knowledge of that. So the first fight of the night is Azamet Bekoev versus Yusri Belgauri. So I had in my notes, this is Azamet's third fight of this year. He's undefeated in the UFC so far. These guys were actually supposed to fight on the Tyra card with that other random Asian dude. I'm pretty sure he's on this card. But yeah, they were supposed to fight earlier this year. He was, I think, a short notice replacement, and then maybe he couldn't make weight. I don't recall. But yeah, this dude, Azamet Bekoev, he's an absolute beast. He's on a 3-fight KO streak. I wanted to say about, I forgot his last fight. It was I forgot when it was, but I just remember watching. It was against some bum. Oh, Ryan Loder. It was against Ryan Loder, and Bekoev, you can just tell size advantage, everything advantage, but Loder was landing clean shots on him, landing clean to the body. But Bekoev, he's just a marauder, and he just stuck through it and just knocked him out clean. He has just insane power. It's insane. Yusri Belgauri, on the other hand, he's the more rangy fighter. He's taller, and he had a really nice fight in the Dana White Contender Series. He had like 2 flying knees landed, and that still didn't drop the guy, and then it was just a nasty KO. It was just crazy. But I did notice he was a little sloppy. That was not his first Dana White Contender Series appearance. He lost to Marco Tulio on his first one. It was like a lackluster decision. Like Belgarow, it was nothing big that happened. So, and he's a little sloppy. I think I don't know. My pick is gonna be Azamet Bekoev by round 1 KO. I just think Belgauri, they're both a little sloppy, but it could go either way. But I do think it's gonna be round 1, and I do think Bekoev is gonna get him. He's just more raw, but in the good sense. Like, he's just more unpredictable, like raw in the good sense. That's what I'll say. Let's go to the next fight. I don't know anything about Stefani Luciano versus Ravena Oliveira. So next fight, Kyle Prepolek versus Drew Dobert. Prepolek, a lot of you may know him from his UFC debut against Benoit Saint Denis on the 315 card, Bilal. A lot of people were surprised. It took Benoit 2 rounds to get him out of there. And he was doing pretty good. I must say he was landing more clean shots on Benoit until he got to the clinch, obviously. And in the clinch, Benoit is just different. Like, Prepolek was just getting elbowed, kneed. It was bad for him in the clinch. But in the open, he's decent. And Drew Dober, in his last few fights, I can't remember him wrestling, trying to close the distance to the clinch part. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah. Prepolek, he's a real tough guy. He has very accurate striking, but against Benoit, who doesn't move his head that much, but neither does Dober. And it's slow striking. Like, Dober is definitely the faster guy, but Prepolek, he's accurate. He can definitely land, and he has heavy hands. But Dober, on the other hand, He's definitely the faster fighter. He has great body work, a great body kick. He likes to work the body. But in his last fight, he's just too chinny for me. Against Matt Favola, who's also on this card, he got chinned pretty quick. And against, it was on the Moreno card earlier this year, he got knocked out with like the first 1-2 the guy landed. So even though Dober is faster, he's on like a 4-fight loss streak. And Prepolek, he just has the hands to KO him. So I'll be picking Prepolek by a round 2 KO. On to the next fight. It is Danny Barlow versus Joran Santos. They're both coming off a loss. And Danny Barlow, I forgot his loss, but it was against Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson, I do rate him though. Sam Patterson is a good fighter. He just KO'd Trey Waters. He does have power despite the way he looks. So Barlow, I'm not going to knock him too hard for losing to him. But yeah, so Danny Barlow, his last win was against Nikolai Veretnikov. It was a pretty boring fight, to be honest. Tit for tat battle. Veretnikov, I do rate him, even though he's coming off a loss and a robbery win. But he is a very dynamic striker when he lets his hands go, which he didn't. It says split decision, but it was just because one judge gave 3 rounds to Veretnikov, which is just not true. I'm pretty sure it's 29-28 I gave it. And but Danny Barlow, he has mean hands if he lets his hands go. But Barlow, he is sloppy, but he is very powerful when he lands. He is an all-right counter striker for how sloppy he is, but he can definitely catch you. But he just doesn't let his hands go. And Joran Santos, I personally know nothing about him, but just by looking at him, he just looks like a beast. But, this is actually a tough one. I do think if Danny Barlow is going to win, it's going to be by decision. And if Joran Santos is going to be by KO, I just think Danny Barlow, he's just too rangy. Joran Santos is going to win. He's going to have to close the distance and really start swinging. And that's how Barlow caught Josh Quinlan for his only KO win in the UFC. So I'm going to be picking Danny Barlow by decision. He's not that great of a fighter, but he does have pretty good footwork and pretty decent power. So I feel like Joran Santos is going to feel the power and back off and just not want to engage that much. So Barlow by decision is going to be my pick. On to the next fight. It is Bruno Silva versus Hyung Sung Park. They're both coming off losses. Bruno Silva coming off one to Joshua Van and Manel Kape, and Hyung Sung Park coming off one to Tatsuro Taira. Bruno Silva, I really think he's just bad at the sport. He's fast. Don't get me wrong, he is very fast, but Hyung Sung Park, he just has that aura, that X factor to him. Not even an X factor, just the willingness to try and finish a fight or do something. Like Bruno Silva, it seems all of his movements are very reactive, and he's not really doing much, if I'm going to be honest. Like against Kape, he was really is like only the performance I can point to, his only recent performance that was decent. I mean, he was hanging in there, but Kape was really styling on him. And Bruno Silva kept kicking him in the nuts. And against Joshua Van, who really doesn't have any power in his hands at all, got KO'd. He just wilted him. So I'm going to be picking Hyung Sung Park. I can't remember his last fight before Taira, but even against Taira, he didn't look that bad on the feet. I know he got knocked down and submitted, but in the first round, he was holding his own, and I really rate Taira. Taira is one of the top contenders. I feel like if anyone is going to be the next champion at flyweight, I think it's going to be Taira. So I can't even blame Hyung Sung Park. It was a short notice fight. I'm going to be going with Hyung Sung Park by a decision. It is flyweight. I can't Yeah, decision. Hyung Sung Park by decision. On to the next fight. Charles Jourdain at bantamweight. Was he fighting at bantamweight his last fight? But I'm pretty sure it was on the Albazi Moreno card. And it was very easy for him. If I remember, he took the guy. I think the guy was a fireman. He just took the guy down. It was an A to B submission, I believe it was. But either A to B submission or he just took him down, beat the brakes off him. It was quick and easy. He's going against Davy Grant. Davy Grant is he's been in the bantamweight division for a while. He's coming off an upset win against Damon Blackshear, and I think he's just going to carry that momentum into this fight. He's one of the cleanest strikers in the division, and he has really decent takedown defense. So I just think he's going to defend the takedowns of Charles Jourdain and just piece him up on the feet. Davy Grant has the ability to lose a first round and just come back, win the next two. He's done that in so many of his fights. He did it against Damon Blackshear, like I said. He lost a robbery decision to Daniel Marcos, I believe it was. But I think it was the same decision. It was the same type deal where he lost the first and he should have won the next two. But Davy Grant, he's a really slick striker. I think he's going to get taken down first round by Charles Jourdain, or he's going to make Jourdain work real hard for the takedown. And eventually he's going to get it, just get held down probably the rest of the round. And then the next two rounds, he'll probably get taken down once or maybe none at all and just piece up Jourdain. I don't rate Jourdain striking that highly. So I'm going to go Davy Grant by decision. He doesn't have that much finishing power. So on to the next fight, which is Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frivola. I feel like this is a really easy fight. I don't know why Nelson is in the red corner. I don't know what the UFC sees in this guy. But I really just think Matt Frivola is going to get him. Matt Frivola, he was dominated in his last two fights against Fares Ziem and Benoit. But I don't know. Even though he was dominated, he's real tough. Both of his KO losses, his most recent losses, were by the knee that was it's kind of viral. It's the coach is telling him to turn around, and then he turns around and just gets boomed in the head. And then he just got a foot kick KO. It wasn't even a shin to head. It was a flick. He was backing up. It was flash. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though it was domination, it wasn't he wilted. It was a big strike that they landed. And I believe his last win was Drew Dober. And if I recall, he had he was just on the back foot the entire time, but it was a pretty good counter-striking display. He came out swinging quick, and he just knocked Dober out. Dober was pressuring him, and he was just putting the paws on him. He was landing Frivola was landing the heavier shots, and then eventually knocked him out, flatlined him. So Nelson, all I have in my notes is that he's been beating up bums, and he's one of Steve Garcia's victims on his 5-fight KO streak. So, yeah, I'll be picking Frivola by KO. On to the next fight. Cody Gibson versus Auri Quilang. I genuinely did not put anything in my notes because I have no clue who the flip these guys are. Genuinely, who are these guys? I looked them up, and they're just bums. I'm going to be picking Auri Quilang just from his aura. He just looks like a stoic man. He's been practicing stoicism. And Cody Gibson, he just doesn't look like he eats good. He probably eats a lot of fried food. And Auri Quilang, he looks very disciplined. He probably eats a lot of noodles with eggs, keep getting up with his protein goals. And Cody Gibson, I just don't have faith in him to have a good training camp just on how he looks. So I'm going to be picking Auri Quilang by a stoic decision. Just mogs him in a probably 29-28 mogging decision. Manon Fiorot versus Jadmin Sudavicius. I don't know. I couldn't care anything about this fight, but I will say this is an unpopular opinion. I thought Manon Fiorot beat Valentina Shevchenko. We're not going to dive into any type of weeds into this, so I'm just going to say Manon Fiorot beat Valentina Shevchenko, so she's going to beat Jasmine Sudavicius by decision. On to the next fight. It is Marlon Vera versus Ayman Zahabi. Let me just say this before getting into this. Ayman Zahabi beat Jose Aldo. I do not care. One knockdown does not win you a round. It's the same thing with Arman Gamrot. One knockdown does not win you a round. Ayman Zahabi beat Jose Aldo. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I just want to say, when was the last time Chito Vera beat someone? Like, really remember the last time Chito Vera beat someone and remember their name, because I can't. So I know he beat Pedro Munoz. I know he did that, but Ayman Zahabi did too. So I don't like, and Chito Vera, he's really bad. Like, I genuinely think he's terrible. Like, he just has a chin and stamina. Like, he has no technique. He has nothing. Like, there's nothing special about Chito Vera. And frankly, there isn't anything special about Zahabi either. I don't know how he got the Aldo fight, but I really think he won. And he did so much damage to Aldo. So it really makes me mad when people say that's a robbery, because it's not. He's on a 6-fight win streak. He has the home crowd momentum. He has 6-fight win streak momentum. I just think Zahabi's going to take it by decision. They're both decision merchants. Nothing real special about them. I just think Zahabi's just going to win because Chito Vera's going to have the lack of activity. It doesn't matter who's coming forward. If it's Marlon coming forward, he's just going to be marching forward like this, eating shots and just pumping a jab, and then Zahabi's just going to be working him. And if Zahabi's coming forward, it's just going to be him working him. So I'm going to say Zahabi by decision. On to the next fight. Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott. This fight is really interesting because Kevin Holland just let D-Rod into the top 15. That was the fight of the year. I do not care what anyone says. Fight of the year was Kevin Holland versus D-Rod. He took so much damage in that fight, Kevin Holland. So it makes this fight a lot more interesting, especially since Mike Malott's coming off a fight where he took no damage and just destroyed Charles Radke. It makes this fight real interesting. If you guys remember, Mike Malott, he was like a surging contender, and then he just got bullied by Neil Magny. So Neil Magny, I don't know how y'all rate him. I personally rate Neil Magny semi-good. He just cockroached a win against some guy. I forgot his name, but it was a crazy fight. He just darsed him in third round. But Mike Malott, he's really problematic on the feet. He switches stances a lot. He throws a lot of side kicks, oblique kicks, like quad stomps. He's really dynamic. And Kevin Holland, you all know how he is. This fight is at welterweight, so we might see Kevin Holland locked in. But I don't know. Kevin Holland, he has crisp striking, but he also can get hit a lot, like we saw in the D-Rod fight. But it's so hard for me to pick Kevin Holland. This is so tough because he does have slick takedowns at times, but it just depends if he's going to bring it. Mike Malott, he does have the KO power too. Holland, he does. I don't know if he has the KO power anymore. And he does fight a lot. I think I'm going to pick Kevin Holland. I just think he's going to be hungrier. After his loss against D-Rod, he'll have something to prove. Mike Malott, he's going to have a little bit of more confidence coming in, KOing Charles Radke. Charles Radke, he has no chin. So I'll be picking Kevin Holland by sub. I think he's gonna lose round 1 to Mike Malott, and then round 2, he's gonna really try. He's gonna really just get in the clinch with him. I think he's gonna get like a sweep on him, get him to the ground, And then when Mike Malot's getting up, I think Kevin Holland will jump Darce and then submit him. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think it's going to be around 2 or 3 sub for Kevin Holland. On the other hand, I'm kind of like sitting on the fence with this one. I think Mike Malot's going to win round 1 either way, unless there's like a knockout. And then either Kevin Holland is going to do exactly what I said, or he's just going to break and just give up the win. Just lose a boring 30-27 decision. So, but I will be picking Kevin Holland by KO. Or, sorry, sub. Kevin Holland by round 2 or 3 sub. And now to the main event. This fight is actually a lot closer than people think because Brendan Allen can really put the paws on someone. Like I was saying, deRidder somewhat has a sloppy style, but that also works to his advantage because people don't know how to counter it. But now we have someone just as sloppy with Brendan Allen. They're both really good on the ground. I just think Brendan Allen's a faster guy. So if the fight goes to the ground, I can honestly see Brendan Allen subbing him. He did really good against Anthony Hernandez. Almost subbed him many times. He's just Brendan Allen. He just makes bad fight decisions. And Reinier deRidder, he's really good. He is really good. He's coming off a win against Robert Whittaker. I do think that was a win. I don't think it was a robbery or anything. But he almost got knocked out again in that fight. He almost got knocked out. And do I think Brendan Allen can knock out Reinier deRidder? I think it's possible. I think Brendan Allen has more ways to win this fight than Reinier deRidder, in my opinion. I don't think Reinier deRidder can work the body as well as he did against Bo Nickel and Robert Whittaker. I think, it's a 5-round fight, so maybe he will, because Brendan Allen, he's coming off a win against Vettori and a loss against Hernandez, both 3-rounders. I'm picking deRidder regardless, but is it going to be by decision? I think he's going to KO him. I think deRidder's going to KO him. I think deRidder's going to rock him on the feet. Or maybe I think he's just going to make him uncomfortable on the feet with the body work. He has really good knees, obviously. Everyone knows that. But I just think he's going to make him uncomfortable on the feet. Brendan Allen's going to panic shoot because he's not the wisest of ones. And I just think deRidder, he's either just going to sub him off the panic shoot or he's just going to like pound a few elbows into his head and Brendan Allen's just going to face plant. I really don't have much of analysis for this one, because it's just such a difficult fight to pick just because their styles are so goofy. But I'll be picking deRidder by some sort of finish. And let's just go with that. What's going on, guys? I'm editing right now. I did want to let y'all know I'm changing one of my picks from Danny Barlow. I said I had him winning by decision. I don't think he's going to win. I saw that he's moving up a weight class, actually. And he's just not good enough to hang with those bigger boys. So I'll be picking Jordan Santos by KO. I understand lighter man's skill, but it doesn't apply if there's no skill to begin with. Y'all know what I'm saying? So here's my parlay. Y'all gonna make some money, and y'all have a good one. If y'all want to make some money, do exactly what I did, because I'm a genius. I'm a road runner. I'm a risk taker. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm self-made. Like what? Like, how do you think I got to this position? But I will be doing my picks with Vulcan again. So stay tuned for his video, and bless me up, man. Give me a like, subscribe. I'm just trying to make it out the Big H, man. Like, it's really rough in here in Section A and whatnot. So bless me up, and y'all have a good one.